Okay. This should be way easier. Just like Barcada, this is another one where they have a similar but different build. And go for the reservoir. Except this time, instead of grenade launchers, she spams big ol' laser balls. Unlike him, though, she is way easier to hit. Doesn't really have as much knockback. Isn't nearly as accurate. And has no discernible logic as to how it is that she wound up higher in the arena than him. And I think once I get the fleets, that little circle maneuver will be a bit more useful. It seems like most of the time I'm just not getting there in time for the blade to deploy. Also, I probably should have signed out of Steam, shouldn't I? Oh well, hello. Yes, I see you. I see you over there. I'm kind of getting most of the message anyway. Put this down for a second and go. Let's see what's going on. So about PCSX2, which apparently requires a friggin' space shuttle to emulate AC3 for whatever reason, but is perfectly fine emulating Outbreak. I love me some Outbreak. Although for some reason building a save file for that is just absurdly complicated and didn't want to work right. Or maybe I'm just dumb, which is a possibility too. And I think this right here is possibly where the weakness of this blade might be. Because even with a bunch of stabs, I'm just not getting the damage to take this guy out, or gal out. I'm getting like 800 plus overheat. I'm doing about equal damage with these mines. Just minus the overheat. I guess it's not really getting through her armor too well. I'm gonna stick with it for a little while. I might swap out for the heavier guys. Might actually... I'm trying to consider whether or not to use the Mars for Kaiser. Because if I get him with a corner trick, then he should be... It actually would be a practical use for the thing. I was so confused the many times that she went and turned on me in that one mission. Although again, if you love machine guns in these games like I do, that's gonna happen. She gets a little bit of scatterfire and decides to call you a traitor in turn. Of course, when I was a kid, I didn't exactly pay attention to the names too much, so I thought that was the operator saying traitor. And that she turned no matter what, so then I would just go in that mission, and each time I ran through the game, just try to go and get as many hits as I could in on her early, because I assumed it was just part of the mission, that she would just turn on you, just like Huntress does that one time. So yeah, that choice. She's perfectly fine just doing her job. So that slug gun isn't very good, except for exactly the range that I'm letting her use it at. And has quite a bit of ammunition, though. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. I am switching back to the other blade. As while this can be as practical, this glancing crap is getting annoying. Actually, maybe I should stick with it for challenge sake, like that guy said. Alright, laziness prevails. I'm gonna stick with it for a minute. Dang it. Well, I should probably check that message once. Okay, back again. Looks like my friend's gonna be going and trying to get the originals going on PCSX2. Which I've tried, but my laptop simply can't handle. Like, even with all of the tips that people have given me to get them running, it basically just wound up, at best, like, 20 FPS. During gameplay, I mean, it was, like, jumping up to something like 90 in the menus, but as soon as gameplay started, or it had to render in AC in any way, like if you got to the garage menu or any of that, it just tanked. And I don't know why. That'd be kind of cool if you could get dual parry blades in this game. And yeah, I am getting a little bit more aggressive than might be ideal here. But I'm just trying to get that overheat going so I can at least get residual damage on her. Because I'm not going to have much luck running her out of ammo with that slug gun. It takes friggin' ages. And don't really want to go through the whole process of editing it down to, well, not take as many ages. Gonna take the safe hits. Oh man, this thing glances so often though. I have a feeling like when they did the hitbox for this, like maybe because of the extra range, a longer percentage of the blade is maybe a glancing hit. Maybe it's not actually the location where they get hit, because the last couple times, I'm fairly certain it hit her right in the core, and still did nearly nothing. Alright, come on now. Yeah, the slug gun isn't very good, but it's definitely a decent counter to a parry blade. she's halfway through her ammo somewhere about right now. Clearly the aggressive strategy isn't working when they're all just bouncing off. Sure would be nice if I got that little data screen. This can't happen. Can't have it because both of these weapons don't register with it. It needs to have either a lock-on or be a rocket. Now, inside weapons may just plain not count, but the Parry blade doesn't give me the info, so I assume they just didn't bother coding it in. Can't blame them. That makes total sense. You with your turning speed. Quit having so much of it. I was advised to do a tankier build, which I did the first time around. However, didn't really find it that much fun. And I think for this fight, because of how many glances I'm getting, and I'm thinking, I could be completely wrong here, but I think it's because the quads stick out. So if a certain percentage of the blade is, being considered the actual, good hitbox, more or less, then there's the possibility it's just not reaching where it needs to. So I'm going to pop on this one just to test now. Because if that's the case, then that's crap. That's a way heftier chunk. So if I still end up getting a bunch of glances with this one, then I'm just going to call them equal and probably stick with the other one. But if this one is piercing a lot better, then I'm probably just going to stick with it. It's like challenge or no challenge aside, when it's something like, the weapon just plain won't go and do the damage that it's supposed to do, that stuff just bothers me. Yeah, this is a lot more consistent, so I think that's probably why I was getting that feedback last time. Because I know a couple times I'm pretty darn certain I hit her right in the core. It must be a blade hitbox thing. And even if it's more challenging using that one, it just feels like nails on a chalkboard when you're getting the hits in, but it doesn't want to count them. Plus, aesthetically, I like this one a lot more. But now we know, Tiny Blade, not very good on quads. That actually makes sense on all accounts in this particular session. do a little jousting to get these mines in, hopefully. I'm trying to just be on the very outside of what her slug gun can do. There we go. Got a full volley that time. And she's using the fleets, I never knew that. So that explains why she can move around so dang fast. Actually, I meant to check earlier. No, I think those... I think those might be the basic rockets. Inside rockets, I mean. Alright, this guy... kind of one of those ones where, if you get close, if you get far, wherever you are, he's gonna hit you with missiles. So I always like to just kind of cheese him out on the corner for his first few salvos, because screw that. Yeep. That's what I was trying to avoid. Good job, me. He's got a crap ton of missiles. He doesn't... This guy does not run out very easily. Any kind of anti-missile stuff will run out long before he does. However, he doesn't like walls very much. Most run-throughs of this game, I end up just getting him stuck on a wall and just wailing on him with whatever weapons I had. In this case, it just happens to be a little bit shankier than most. I'm not actually sure why he wasn't blowing me completely to hell right there. Yes, he should have had plenty of missiles to go. I'm gonna check real quick what happened. Which I suppose isn't very proper English. Check what happened real quick. Yeah, basic extensions, so those don't last too long, but he's got plenty of them on him. Missiles, I mean. Well, maybe I'm thinking of the other guy with having a lot more than this. All things considered... Well, those are multi-missile pods, so he's definitely firing a lot more. I'm just curious as to why he didn't fire at the end. So I've tried to challenge this guy too. Main problem is when it comes to him, there's a lot of hard counters for missiles, and if somebody has one of those, you're basically just stuck for a little while. So, for example, if somebody has decoys and you're just sitting there waiting for all the decoys to go away for ages, and then you fire a salvo and then it misses. So it was a lot of waiting and not much playing. Like, it's fun when it works, because yeah, you could... As soon as all those hard counters were gone, you could just dominate. So yeah, I guess he was just stuck trying to lock on over and over. Weird. Here's the first guy that has a Mars on him. One of 3, I believe. Another guy that tends to overheat himself all the time. If he was on the ground, I would have hit him anyway. And this guy's just all decked out and heavy hitting stuff. Apparently a guy who likes belt buckles. Not the randomness of some of the descriptions. But he does just kind of spam fire his left-hand gun, because unlike the other guys, he can't lock on with it. Actually, I think that might be why they ended up removing them when it came time for Nexus and LR. It may not have been a balance thing, but it was probably just due to the fact that they locked on exclusively with the other hand's gun. So that could have been it. Alright, that was a pretty good hit on him. Not particularly worried about his blade, because I think he's already used 3 out of 4, if not all of his shots. Yeah, so far as I see it, that guy was right. The small blade is more practical on anything that has a normal hitbox, but this one is a lot more consistent. And while it may be kind of, I guess, written off as a challenge to go after anything with a quad and, you know, glance with every single shot, I'd rather not do that. I don't know. When stuff's super inconsistent like that, I hate it. It's just not good times. Did the Mars have 10 uses in this one? There's more than 4. Yeah, I think I might have 10 uses in this one. Shows how much I've used it. But just like the mid blade, it basically just ups the attack by about 1,000 and takes off 10 uses. Yep. Actually, come to think of it, I think he's one of 2 now that I think about it, because it should be him and the dual blade guy in the extra arena. Or not the extra arena, but the sub-arena. They used the Mars. Because I was thinking it was that guy with the Japanese name. But he doesn't use that. He uses the discount blade. Oh. Well, if you're just gonna stand there and take it, I'm fine with that. So Faust's gimmick is he bounces around. And he's super fragile, so even though that was a glancing hit, it's still relevant. It's still ripping him apart as we speak. Oh, it's high speed. It's not that much. How much of a lead is it? So his bazooka hurts. Usually I prefer to just ignore it and bum rush the guy because he's so tissue papery. I don't know why my boost stopped there. There was no reason for that not to be a stab. Always grateful for the less annoying "you're about to die" sound. I think I'll resume stabbing endeavors as soon as he finally runs out of the bazooka. I'm just getting stunned and knocked back and hurt generally by that thing. That was an alright salvo. And his hopping around shenanigans don't make hitting him any easier. Well, again, only matters in this kind of run. If you get a normal gun of any kind, this guy's nothing. A little bit of a risky getting in close thing, but I wanted to get it. Nope. Didn't want to move.